And I'm Lisa Marie Falbo.
Welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. Lisa, we got a busy show today.
Yes, we do. And we are fueled by possibly the best breakfast ever. If you guys can see what I have here.
Oh, yes. Yeah, mine's over here. I have to keep it stashed away because the dog keeps trying to eat it off the table.
I could imagine. I don't blame
them. I don't blame her. It does. It smells amazing. So before we get to the cookies and all the good fun stuff, we also are going to be talking about vaccines here in New Jersey, coronavirus vaccines. And we're going to talk to a former New Jersey assemblyman who ran for governor about the current race for governor here in New Jersey.
We're also going to talk to Paul Dottino, a very good friend of mine from WFAN Sports Radio and Giants.com, about the upcoming Super Bowl. Very exciting. Obviously, we're going to be talking about those delicious cakes that we just showed you, compliments of Stack Happy Sweets. And we're going to be talking about a new show debuting on News 12 Plus called Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala. Also, Great Adventures' new roller coaster, the Jersey Devil. It is insane, and we can't wait to show you the video.
I'm so excited about this I love roller coasters. The big story of this week, of course, is actually going to be the weather. It seems we've got some dangerously cold temperatures on the way and possibly snow for parts of the state. Let's welcome our meteorologist, Mike Favetta, to the show, and another good friend of mine and former colleague, current colleague. Mike, I'm happy to have you here. How are you?
Around. Thank you very much, Cara, for having me. Nice to work with you as well, Lisa Marie. Good to be here on a bitterly cold Friday. I mean, you heard the wind all night long. I know, Lisa Marie, you were telling me that there's like you're in a wind tunnel.
Yes.
Over your house.
Yes. I don't even want to go outside because I feel the cold. Ugh.
It's terrible. I brought the garbage out this morning and didn't last a few seconds before the hands froze over. So, yeah, it's cold and it's dry, and it's about to get even colder by this afternoon. And I know, Cara, you've got the dog, right?
Yes.
Does the dog go out when it's this cold?
She'll go out, but only briefly. And she refuses to wear clothing. She tries to eat anything off of herself. So I can't, bundle her up and send her outside.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those days where even the dogs might say, no thanks. Yeah. We'll forgo the walk today. But there's so much chilly weather around, and the wind making it feel that much worse, especially when you figure just how cold it will become over the coming days. So, this is weather that we're used to here in New Jersey, right? I'm Jersey born and bred. You guys are Jersey born and bred.
Absolutely.
So you kind of understand where we're going here. But thank you for joining me again. We'll get to the forecast in a bit. A little introduction about myself, since this is my first morning here, joining you on the New Jersey Morning Show. I've been around for here in New Jersey, at least. Born, raised in Morris County, working right now in Morris County. This is my company, Weather Prep. You see it behind me. It's a meteorological consulting firm, and I have clients all across the world, but home base is in New Jersey. I had a base in Milan not too long ago, and that's where Cara and I met up when you did a Cara's Cucina tour.
Yes, we traipsing across northern Italy together.
That was a lot of fun, yeah, because there were some, climates-related opportunities over in Europe, and I took full advantage of that. And then Cara said, "Oh, I'll be in Tuscany for the day, touring some wineries, some what was it like?
We went to a cheese farm."
That's right, and then some of the best gelato I think I've ever had. I know.
Yes,
it was pretty bomb. Pretty
bomb.
Yeah, I'm so jealous about this right now.
Nothing like talking food. There's going to be a lot of food talking, I think.
It's a lot of food.
Show. Don't you agree, Lisa Marie?
Well, we threw together a bunch of Italian Americans. I don't see how there's not going to be.
It will. I think will be central to the theme.
Yes.
Well, I would say maybe a big hot cup of tea. Lisa has her tea ready. Maybe an extra large cappuccino for Cara because it is cold this morning. I want to show you some of the weather information from my computer here, just to give you an idea of how cold it is across New Jersey. What you're looking at right now is a picture of the state, and look at these wind chills that are currently so cold. They're right now down in the single digits in northern New Jersey. You have -3 up there toward Parsippany, and even 0 right now. This is what it feels like over in Newark. How about 7 down the shore. So some brutally cold air, and the wind is going to make it feel that much worse. These are your wind gusts right now across the northeastern part of New Jersey. That tan color you see over through Passaic and Essex and Union County and even in Hudson County and Bergen County, that's a wind advisory. So the winds will actually be gusting this afternoon up to 40 miles per hour. Believe it or not, it gets colder as the day goes along. You typically have a warmer afternoon on normal days, but there's nothing normal about today. 33 is how it is the actual air temperature over in Essex, and with the winds at 33 miles per hour, super, super cold air. So, yeah, it'll feel cold through the rest of the day, but like you mentioned, we have some snow on the way, and that snow will work its way in, I think, over the coming days this weekend. I'll show you here, slide this along. This is Sunday night. And you see that shade of blue here across New Jersey. That shows a little bit of that snow working in by the end of the weekend into Monday. So something we'll watch here. We'll give you, of course, more details about that and kind of highlight how much snow we could get when it all comes in and just when it all ends. Because snow during the middle of the week into the middle of the weekend into next week can always cause some problems. So we'll talk more about that in just a little bit, guys.
Mike, thank you so much. All right, Cara. Well, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you that New Jersey is one of the worst states for driving. Personal finance website Wallet Hub has released its report on 2021's best and worst states for driving. New Jersey, of course, tanked in the rankings, coming in as the 9th worst state to drive in. The area where the Garden State did the worst was traffic and congestion.
Yeah, having covered traffic in this state for the last decade at this point, yeah. You know what? There's a lot of us here is the bottom line. You know, we're the most densely populated state, you know, for the amount of land that we have. Makes sense. There's a lot of people on the roads and just was never constructed really to be, you know, walk friendly, bike, you know, it's a commuter state. So it makes sense.
Although I would say COVID-19 has helped in that area. Last night we went to Jersey City, and the drive from Morris County to Jersey City during normal rush hour normally would have taken an hour and a half. We got there in a half hour. There was nobody on the road. And it was beautiful. So if there is one upside, it's kind of that.
Yeah, that would be it. So otherwise, and my personal opinion is I really feel like we should just kind of close off the borders of New Jersey. And like, if you did not get your license here in New Jersey, you got to take the bus, because I feel like it's the outer staters that really kind of mess up the roads for us.
Exactly. And we're talking to you, New Yorkers.
Yeah. I'm only going to say it. She went there. All right, guys, coming up in just a little bit, we are going to talk about how to get your COVID vaccine here in New Jersey. We got all the details in just a minute.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution. Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hip. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whoop.
You're looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back, everybody, to the New Jersey Morning Show. Lisa, we are talking about vaccines. Now, I don't know, are your parents eligible yet? Mine are.
Yes, mine are eligible. Yep.
But they have not been able to get an appointment.
No. Appointments are very hard to come by. My grandparents are on a wait list.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. It's been rough. So the good news here is that New Jersey is actually going to get a 30% increase in coronavirus vaccine doses over the next 3 weeks. The doses provided by the federal government will rise from 100,000 to 130,000 for 3 weeks. The boost comes after President Biden announced his administration would increase the number of doses that states get by 16%. So far, about 643,000 vaccines have been given out in New Jersey, so we're on our way. New Jersey has 128 vaccination sites. 6 of them are mega sites. Earlier this week, Governor Murphy toured the Hudson County vaccine site at the USS Juneau Emergency Management Center in Kearney. But 2 of the mega sites had to close on Monday, the Gloucester County site at Rowan College and the Old Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, because of lack of supply. And this seems to really be the issue is, people just can't, the vaccines just aren't there.
Yeah, they can't keep up with the demand. It's very puzzling. New Jersey also launched a staffed COVID-19 vaccine hotline and went online earlier this week. People with questions about the vaccine can call 855-568-0545. The governor said they had 17,000 calls in the first hour. Can you imagine that? In the first hour. Operators can help by answering questions about appointments and registration. I do not envy those operators.
No, there's too many people to deal with. And of course, we're coming up on a year of people being in their houses, unemployed, losing love. Like, people are at the ends of their rope. So to have to take that phone call and deal with that, those people are up for sainthood for sure. Sure.
Definitely. Well, joining us now to talk about the vaccine is Patrick Kelly, Executive Vice President of Government Affairs for the Healthcare Distribution Alliance. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thanks for joining us here this morning.
Sure.
So, Patrick, what does the Healthcare Distribution Alliance do, and how are you getting involved in the vaccine distribution?
So we are a trade association representing the nation's pharmaceutical distributors. We're the second link in the pharmaceutical supply chain nationally. So our members are moved product every day to pharmacies, hospitals, clinics, physician offices around the country. Obviously, we're very involved in the pandemic response right now, and helping states and the federal government move vaccines as quickly as possible as supply allows.
Patrick, what role are wholesalers playing to ensure that the vaccines are available to New Jerseyans as soon as possible?
It's a great question. So one of our primary member companies is actually what they call the central distributor for the federal government, McKesson Corporation. They are moving product once it's manufactured. The 2 manufacturers, Pfizer and Moderna, making product available. As soon as that product arrives at either Pfizer shipping product directly, but the Moderna product is moving through distribution. As soon as that product arrives, the federal government tells us where to ship it, and we do exactly what they tell us to do. So we'll ship to New Jersey, whatever the federal government tells us to ship. And I can tell you this: as soon as supply arrives, it moves out. We are moving product as quickly as we get it to the states that need it so desperately.
Yeah, I can imagine. Tell us about the vaccine supply challenges that we keep hearing about in New Jersey and across the country. Are there any changes coming that we can expect at the national level?
Well, as you just referenced, the Biden administration is increasing production by 16%. So that should help us to some extent get more product into the states that you guys can have access to. The challenge of moving at least the first 2 vaccines is they have to be handled in a very specific way because they're frozen product that need to be kept frozen. In some cases, the Pfizer product has to be maintained at minus 80 degrees Celsius during its transition to the administration site. And so that puts a significant kind of challenge on handling the product and making sure it does arrive in its minus 80 degrees Celsius state. That's 112 degrees below zero, I think. So significant handling requirements involved. But as I said, once product does arrive at the administration site, it's the state's responsibility and their job to make sure they're distributing it around the state to the various administration sites, be those mass vaccination sites or hospitals. We are very pleased to see that pharmacies are going to be coming online here shortly. So your citizens and your viewers should be able to get these vaccines, hopefully in more supplies shortly.
Great. So what are some of the challenges involving COVID distribution, and how are distributors adapting to those?
Well, again, this is an unprecedented event. We've never had a global pandemic of this caliber scale before, so we're kind of learning as we move. As I think everybody is, with grappling how we're going to inoculate or vaccinate 330 million people in this country. So there are some learnings they're kind of, we're getting better every day, and the challenges of moving the ultra cold chain products have put it a little bit of a crimp in the process to some extent. Fortunately, we do have more product in the pipeline. We have Johnson & Johnson has a product that is nearing FDA review, and we hope to have that product online shortly. That does not require frozen status and shipping requirements, so that should be a little bit easier logistic challenge to address, and again bring more vaccine into the marketplace so that the states can have more product to administer to their citizens.
Patrick, thank you so much for all of your hard work and during these unprecedented times.
Well, you're welcome. We've got a lot more work to do, and we're looking forward to kind of getting it done, and let's get back to normal life here as shortly as quickly as possible.
Amen.
Absolutely. Patrick, thank you again. Since we were talking about the things being very frozen, Lisa Marie, you know what? So let's bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta, and then I'm going to tell you guys just a really fast, this is my quick kitchen tip. So when the weather's this cold outside, the trunk of your car can be the additional freezer if you don't have the stereotypical one in your basement.
I did that yesterday because I did the Costco run, and I had all this frozen food, but I had one more stop to make before I came home. And that, by the way, that's kind of a hint that the storm is going to be bad when the meteorologist goes to Costco already and does his food shopping before the big rush. So heads up, if you plan to do the pre-storm planning today or tomorrow, the aisles will be packed. I can assure you of that. And we don't get royalties, by the way. I know it's a common thing. They think meteorologists and weather people, get a little kickback from the supermarkets. Yeah, we wish. It doesn't happen. Talk more about the weather today? We've got some video, actually, of the weather this morning. So much cold air around New Jersey. Now, this doesn't show a lot of the tree-toppling winds in the northeastern corner of New Jersey, but even down in Medford and Burlington County, you can see that flag flapping in the breeze. So much of that cold air is rushing in from the north. You felt it as soon as last night, and it will keep blowing all afternoon with those very gusty winds to the rest of the day. Now, I promised you before I talk a little bit about the snow that's on the way. We'll show you some of these computer models. It's like a future cast, if you will. We'll go a little further in time to show you and give you an idea of when we think the snow comes in. So what you're looking at here is late Sunday evening. You see that shade of blue down toward the southern half of New Jersey. I'll go a little further in time, and as we head to the overnight hours of Sunday into Monday morning, that's where some of the blue starts to work its way into northern New Jersey. So with this very cold air that's around, all of this is snow, this blue area, and then the rain should stay offshore. So the idea that there will be some mixing certainly is possible, especially down in South Jersey. If you're watching from there, this area of pink and purple is more like a mix that will take over going into the upcoming work week. So I think we'll see a heavy hitting round of snow going into the latter part of the weekend, especially later Sunday night into early Monday morning. But you look outside right now and you've got nothing but sunshine. This is the satellite picture, and it is pretty right now with nice clear sky across New Jersey. But you can kind of see these little almost designs in the wind or in the clouds, and that's due to the wind. So anytime we have a very gusty northwesterly wind, which is the case, you have these kind of ripples that work their way in through the clouds. And these show the direction that the wind is blowing, and it is blowing quite heavily across New Jersey. This is all the clear sky here in the southern part of the state, and then up through the northwestern corner of New Jersey where it's coldest, there toward Sussex County. Super, super cold. By the way, that air is so cold it actually heads out over the Atlantic here on the right side of the screen and actually becomes more cloud cover. So really interesting to see all of these clouds that are formed by the colder air moving over pretty warm water, and those make those little cloud streets. So nice weather for an Eskimo, or if you happen to be somebody who loves the cold, certainly that's your deal, because so much cold air right now. These are actual air temperatures, 16 to 18 degrees, and today's weather is 18 as our high. Remember, we don't really warm up today. It'll actually turn cooler and feel cooler through the afternoon. The wind chill will be anywhere from -5 to 5 above 0. So really chilly weather will take us into the afternoon, and then we finally see the wind diminish tonight, but there's still going to be some cold air around. Now, your temperatures here for most areas of New Jersey, all in the 20s from top to bottom. Whether you find yourself up in Morristown, 22 degrees is our high today, right down through Trenton, 25 degrees. Have to head to Atlantic City to even come close to the freezing mark, but other than that, it stays quite cold even into tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow's high also below the freezing mark. Our Saturday will have less wind, which is some great news, but highs will again struggle to make it to freezing. Sunday's cloudy, but then there's our snow on Monday and Tuesday. And I know the million-dollar question everybody wants to know, how much snow is going to fall? Well, I will give you those details coming up in a few minutes when I rejoin you again. I have to crunch some more numbers because the weather information is coming in all the time, but we'll take a look of what areas of New Jersey could see some higher amounts of snow and what areas could see some mixing, lowering their amounts. But all in all, I think Cara and Lisa Marie, it's a good bet that we'll be busting out the shovels, or maybe your husband's busting out the shovels on Monday and Tuesday.
Actually, my husband just got a new snowblower, so he's actually very excited to try it out.
Very good. Very nice. You will definitely be able to enjoy watching him sipping your tea and hot cocoa.
I'm sure he'll love it. I'm sure. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for that weather report, guys. Up next, we are checking out New Jersey's newest roller coaster. We can kind of dream of summer and hopefully being able to go back to amusement parks. We'll see if you guys want to ride this.
Plus, we're going to be talking Super Bowl with WFAN and Giants.com reporter Paul Dottino.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure. Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Swing the hip.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. So, Lisa, do you, well, not in your current state, but do you enjoy roller coasters?
I did. I went on every roller coaster like 5 times over, you know, when I was younger at Six Flags and everything. But as I've gotten older, I feel so old saying this, I feel like the equilibrium is off, so I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, the motion sickness did start kicking in somewhere around 30 for sure. But I was the same way. I love roller coasters. And I will, for old time's sake, like go try them out. So later this year, what you mentioned, Six Flags Great Adventure is going to open. And I love that we have this stuff here in New Jersey. The world's tallest, longest, fastest single rail roller coaster. This week, they put the last piece of track together for the New Jersey Devil Coaster. I love the name of this coaster.
Me too.
Here you can see them topping off the roller coaster. It is 13 stories tall, moves at speeds of up to 58 miles an hour. The Jersey Devil Coaster riders will soar single file through the dark and over the woods on 3,000 feet of track, inspired by the infamous Jersey mythology of the Jersey Devil. The cutting-edge coaster will feature 5 intense elements, including 3 dramatic inversions. And yeah, I'm down for one ride. Like I will definitely give it at least one shot.
You know what? We got to strap a GoPro on you, and then we can run that footage and see how much you enjoy that. I'll watch you from the ground.
You'll watch me from the ground. Yeah, that's fine. I'm down. I'll sacrifice myself for that.
Wow.
It does look like a lot of fun.
It does. No, it does. Well, I know one person, our next guest, that it's safe to say that he wouldn't be going on this roller coaster either. And that is Paul Dottino from WFAN Sports Radio and Giants.com. He's here to talk to us about Super Bowl 55. The big game is next weekend between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Paul, how are you?
Good morning, ladies. Nice to be with you, and I want no part of that roller coaster. It's a great amusement park, but I'm not touching that ride.
I figured you wouldn't. I just had that hunch. So, Paul, you and I spoke before the NFL season, as we always do, and we really weren't sure how successful Tom Brady was going to be in transitioning to a new team, maybe a weaker team on paper. Obviously, that hypothesis was blown out of the water because he is in his 10th Super Bowl appearance. Talk to us about your feelings on that.
Well, you know, Lisa, coming off of what the Buccaneers showed last year when Jameis Winston was their quarterback, and I'm not comparing the two QBs, but the fact is he was sacked like a gazillion times. Mm-hmm. And the Buccaneers offensive line was literally Swiss cheese. And I'm saying to myself, when Brady signs there, you got a guy who's 40 plus years old, who does not move around very well. And now he's going to put himself behind an offensive line that cannot protect. He's got no chance, not only to make the playoffs. That's not going to happen, but there's no way he's going to last a full 16 games without getting knocked out of the lineup and being put on injured reserve for the rest of the season. I honestly didn't think he'd get past 9, 10, maximum 12 games before he would get hurt. Well, what happened? The Buccaneers offensive line not only raised its play dramatically, but they added Wirfs, the left tackle, in the draft, and all of a sudden, the right tackle, I should say, and the line came together. Dotson played better at the other tackle, and it all starts with the line. And once their offensive line started to show that they could protect Brady, they suddenly became dangerous. And look what happened. They protected him all season. He's standing upright, hasn't been hurt at all, and that's what gave them an opportunity to go this far.
Yeah, and the New York Giants played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season. It was a close game. The Giants almost pulled it out, but obviously Tom Brady, he's got an endless bag of tricks. So unfortunately, the Giants didn't prevail.
Well, the Giants, you recall, fell short in that game in the final seconds, a 2-point conversion that they needed to tie the game and send it to overtime. It was a pass that Daniel Jones wished he had back. It was a little bit behind the running back, Lewis. There may have been pass interference on the play. I know a lot of Giants feel that way. I personally think they could have thrown a flag. They did. They then reversed the call, picked it up, and the Giants lost by 2 points. But they certainly showed that they were within a razor-thin margin of taking the Buccaneers to overtime. I honestly don't think the Buccaneers are as good as your usual Super Bowl teams are. I think they've been very fortunate over the last couple of weeks to get by two teams that really did not play very well and were not coached very well. And I don't want to say they got to buy into the Super Bowl, but they are not in Kansas City's class.
Yeah. And Kansas City, Cara.
Yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of Kansas City, the Chiefs, what are your thoughts about them making it to their second straight Super Bowl appearance?
Yeah, well, because of the difficulties in teams repeating, I certainly thought that, with the big X on their chest, as all defending champions have to have when they go into the following year, I personally had picked Pittsburgh and New Orleans over the summer to be my reps in the Super Bowl. Well, we all know what happened. Pittsburgh fell apart because their running game became just totally non-existent. And, of course, they got some guys banged up, and they just collapsed in the final month of the season. I still believe that had Pittsburgh been fully healthy and had it going, they were the best threat to knock the Chiefs off in the AFC. but it just did not materialize for them. And right now, the Chiefs are playing about as well as they can play, like a finely tuned and finely oiled machine. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, doing a marvelous job, but Lisa and I know him from his time with the Giants when he helped them beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 42. I really believe that the way they've got things going, they're doing just enough on defense with a spectacular offense that can pretty much do whatever it wants. I don't see anybody stopping them. I truly believe that of all the teams in the National Football League today, the Steelers had the best roster that would have had the opportunity to beat them. But again, that's not the case this weekend. They're going up against the Tampa Bay team that has Tom Brady. I get it. I just don't think they have enough.
Yeah.
I have to say, I saw the best meme the other day, and it was about Tom Brady, and it was just saying, so Tom Brady went out into the world and said, so who wants to go to the Super Bowl this year? And like, he could have picked any team and just.
It is amazing when you consider the fact that, he did not play all that well last week. Let's face it. He threw less than 50% completes, got intercepted 3 times. Okay, the Green Bay Packers did everything they could last week to give that game away. They coached very, very poorly. They had some very bad mistakes physically on the field and basically did everything they could not to advance. And Tom Brady was the glad recipient of that. And so now here he is in the Super Bowl. Look, I think that Brady, obviously, he's got all the tools. He's the greatest, most successful quarterback in the history of the National Football League. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he does not have a chance to win this game. But what I am going to tell you is that the matchup, offense versus defense, defense versus offense, the Chiefs have the advantage on both sides of the ball. And they also have the advantage, I believe, on special teams. Therefore, it's going to take a subpar game from the Chiefs. Penalties, turnovers. They've got to play a sloppy game, in my opinion, for Tampa Bay to steal it. And you ladies know this. When you leave the studio, you know if you've done an A+ show or a B show that maybe wasn't quite what you really felt it could be. If the Chiefs play their A game, they will win. It's just that simple. I don't think the Bucs can beat them if Kansas City plays their best football.
Yeah. Well, Paul, before you mentioned Steve Spagnuolo, who we know very well from our Giants glory years, but there's other local connections to this game as well, with Todd Bowles being the defensive coordinator on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dive into that a little bit.
Well, Todd Bowles, the former Jets head coach, obviously, and again, we talk about Spags being the former Giants defensive coordinator and was an interim head coach at the end of the year a couple of years ago when Shermer had gotten fired with a month left. I mean, McAdoo had gotten fired with a month left in their season some years back. There's no question that, the people of this area are going to have extra interest because of what these assistant coaches are going to be doing on Sunday. But here's the difference between these two guys, okay? Todd Bowles has a very big problem. He's going up against the Chiefs offense that can attack him in whichever philosophy he decides to play. If he decides that he's going to play man coverage, okay, and try to take away everything that the Chiefs want to do offensively deep, then Travis Kelce, the tight end, and Kareem Hunt out of the backfield will destroy them in the nickel and dime game. And the Chiefs will be patient, go all the way down the field, and do what they have to do to score. If he decides to go and take that away, then they've got the speed with Tyreek Hill to beat them deep. So no matter which philosophy he chooses, the Chiefs have an answer. Not the case for Steve Spagnuolo. Because when you look at this Tampa Bay, I almost said 49ers, this Tampa Bay offense, they're basically a pounded, grinded offense, and then Brady making an occasional big play down the field. They don't have the depthness to be able to kill you in 2 totally different ways. They can't adjust as easily as the Kansas City offense can. Therefore, Spags has a much easier task than Bowles does. Spags will, no doubt, when he feels they're going to run it, he'll stuff the box, he'll run blitz, and then when he knows that Brady's got to throw it, he'll mix up the man, he'll mix up the zone. He's got a much easier task because he's got a wider variety of tools, and the opposite offense does not have that variety to match up well.
Yeah. And also, too, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up Jason Pierre-Paul, one of the favorites of the modern Giants Super Bowl teams. He's going back to the Super Bowl, so I'm very happy for him.
JPP, you consider all that he's had to go through. We know about the fireworks accident with his hands when he was with the Giants. He's had some car mishaps as well. He had neck issues, back issues. This guy has been basically scotch taped together over the years. And by the way, Lisa, he was voted to the Pro Bowl this year. Double-digit sacks, had a terrific season. And I couldn't be happier for him as an individual to be able to go back to the Super Bowl like this. It's amazing that he's actually been able to have a terrific NFL career considering the physical ailments and accidents that he's had to overcome. But I will tell you this, JPP and Shaq Barrett, the two edge rushers that Tampa Bay has in terms of being able to get to the quarterback, that's great. The problem is, not only does Mahomes have a litany of weapons that he can throw to at any given time, they can go with the short game, they can go with the long game. They've got the ability to run the ball if they have to, but they also have Mahomes as his legs. Tremendously athletic quarterback who not only can run and try to escape that pass rush, he also is probably the best quarterback in the NFL right now at throwing the ball while he's running, while he's actually on the move. He doesn't lose anything from his arm. He can also throw off one foot and throw backwards. Remember, his dad, Pat Mahomes, was a fastballing pitcher in Major League Baseball years ago. I think he gave his arm to his kid because it's remarkable the kinds of throws he can make even when on the run. That will somewhat neutralize the Buccaneers pass rush.
Yeah, Mahomes is so exciting to watch. Paul, before we let you go, we need a prediction. What is the final outcome of Super Bowl 55?
Well, I know most of the, quote, experts are saying Kansas City by a field goal or so. I would say Kansas City is going to win this game by at least a touchdown. I don't necessarily, again, count Brady and the Buccaneers out, but what are the chances that Kansas City goes into this game and just kind of gets sloppy and falls apart and gives the Bucs a real chance to steal it? I don't think those chances are very high. I think if both teams play their A game, even though Kansas City beat Tampa by a field goal back in November, look, that was a 20-7 halftime lead, and the Buccaneers had to score 2 unanswered touchdowns in the fourth quarter to make that score close. I don't think that happens this time. I think if Kansas City's got themselves, a touchdown or so lead, okay, maybe the Bucs kind of inch in there a little bit, but they're going to be kept at a distance. I'll say Kansas City by at least a touchdown.
All right, Paul. Well, you can see Paul Dottino on Giants.com. You can listen to his reports on WFAN Sports Radio. Thank you so, so much.
Very nice to see you, ladies. Enjoy the game.
You too.
All right, Lisa, let's get a quick check of weather. Bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta. And it is the cold. Like, I'm sitting by my window and my house is a little old and it's seeping in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this cold. Actually, an update for you, Cara, where you're located at your house. The wind chill is now below 0.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Isn't that nice? Yes. So a really super cold morning. In fact, northeastern New Jersey right now, wind chill dipping down to -2 here. And it's going to stay very cold no matter where you go across the state. So this really cold air kind of settling in the northeastern corner of New Jersey. And that tan area shows that there's a wind advisory going until this afternoon, 4 o'clock today. And then, of course, after the cold comes the big storm. And this is the snow that everybody seems to be talking about because it will be a large event as we head into late Sunday into Monday. So this big system here off to the western half of the country, that will eventually dive down and provide some snow here in New Jersey by the end of the weekend. But it likely takes a few days to get going. This is the same storm that gave 10 feet, not inches, feet of snow to the mountains in California out by Lake Tahoe, and it also even provided some snow in Las Vegas. kind of gives you an idea of what we're expecting. So what I want to show you here is one of the computer models, and as I put it into motion, you'll see those inches here over New Jersey eventually start to go up. Now, this is one computer model, and this computer model is bound to change. But I think by Tuesday morning, we can anticipate a pretty decent accumulation of snow on the ground, especially as we get into the latter half of Monday night going into Tuesday. So much of that cold air will be around as we head throughout New Jersey. So yeah, 4 inches, certainly a possibility, even throughout sections of New Jersey. We could have higher amounts going into that corner of the state. So some pretty impressive snow on the way, considering we'll likely see a little bit extra of that snowfall ramp up in intensity as we head through the end of the week into the weekend. I wanted to kind of highlight here to give you an idea of just how much snow I think certain sections of New Jersey could see, because while it may change, there's also the potential for a shift and some mixing that could occur. So while usually we have the higher elevations get higher snow amounts here north and west, there usually could be a little bit of that mixing along the coast. And I think that'll be a case where we'll see the rain snow kind of tamper accumulations down, but still we'll usually have those greater amounts along the shore, greater amounts in the mountains of New Jersey, with still impressive snowfall amounts and the snowfall rates. So this will be an issue of high snowfall rates. We'll have a lot of snow coming in very quickly throughout late Sunday into early Monday morning. And then it basically snows all day, I think, along Monday afternoon into Monday night. And then we'll finally see the snow wrap up by Tuesday morning. So this is an indication of Tuesday morning. Could see anywhere from 6 to 12 inches across certain parts of the state. And that could go higher, so we'll add a little plus sign there because we'll likely see some bigger amounts. And again, we'll show you the 7-day forecast and some of the forecast boards here, with today's cold setting the stage for some very chilly weather, and then going into the next few days, Cara and Lisa Marie getting ready and getting prepared for some snow. So fuel up that snow blower.
Joe will be very happy to hear that.
Yes, he will.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Lisa Marie. So we were just talking to Paul about Super Bowl and game, and then the mechanics of the whole thing. Now, but you got to know, my favorite part about the Super Bowl party is the food. So we have to bring on our friend Lauren Ohl from Stack Happy Sweets. We're so excited to see you, Lauren, and thank you so much. You've given us these lovely little gems.
Thank you.
And I've had to have this stacked up on a box on the table because the dog keeps trying to eat it off the table while we've been doing the show. I'm trying to run interference in between hits here because it smells that good.
Have you tried it? You haven't opened it up yet, right?
I have my fork ready to go as we talk. I've been smelling this cake since 8:45. I'm salivating over here. So I'm so happy to have you on because I can finally try it.
Well, I think there's no time like the present. You guys should open it up and give it a shot.
All right.
Yeah, Lisa's like a normal human being. This is what I brought to do. I was like, I'm gonna cut the cake and then I'm just gonna pick it up and eat it.
Cara, you're all about the food.
All about the food. So Lauren, tell me, mine looks like basically a giant chocolate chip cookie. Lisa's looks a little different. So you have a couple of different flavor options for folks.
We do. For Super Bowl, we're promoting mainly the two that you guys have there as samples. The first one is the classic chocolate chip cookie cake, which we came out with this past year. It's one of the newest additions to our product line. We used to only have what we now call baby stacks. That has grown into super stacks, which I can also talk about. And now we have the cakes, which Cara's holding up the chocolate chip cookie cake. And it comes
look at all the chips in here. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, that looks.
And it comes with
a small child.
The Super Bowl topper on top, in honor of the Super Bowl. There's lots of ways to customize it. There you go. There you go. And the one that Lisa Marie has is what we call the Hail Mary cake. And it's the combination of chocolate chip cookie, topped with brownie, and then chocolate frosting and crumbled Oreos. And then also the Super Bowl graphic. It looks like this, actually. And that's our super stack. And it's something that can be customized for just about anything, whether it's Super Bowl or corporate or wedding favors or any kind of an occasion. They're great for that. They can be individually wrapped, and they make great favors and giveaways.
Yeah, and we just saw a picture of Valentine's Day. So I can't imagine a better Valentine's Day treat than this.
That's right. What's rolling now is a combination of our Super Bowl offerings and also Valentine's Day. They're all available for pickup here locally in Whippany. We share space with Michelle's Catering right on Route 10. You can come right to the door and pick it up, or you can order online for shipping. We send it out. So we just ask for you to allow enough time for us to ship it out to get to its destination on time. Our Super Bowl ordering deadline is actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, so everybody, you better get to it.
You have to get, and these are, all right. So I already took a bite and this is delicious. I don't know. So, you know, I know people have like their preferences when it comes to their chocolate chip cookies, but this is my preference. It's like soft and chewy. There's a lot of chips. It's not super sweet. Lauren, this is really delicious. So I'm very much enjoying my little slice here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, the same is true of brownie. Actually, there's so many different preferences, whether you want it to be fudgy or cakey or extra chocolatey, and there's so many different preferences. And I hope that we found the perfect balance for the cake that has both the brownie and the chocolate chip. It's a really good, it's a favorite combination, right? You can't go wrong with those three all together with the Oreos on top.
No, and to Cara's point, so I just took a bite, and it's not, I thought I was going to get hit with like a sugar rush. It's not that sweet. Like, it's actually like you can have a slice and not feel like you need to take a nap right after.
Well, no, I appreciate that. That's a balance with the dessert business, right? So you don't want it to be disgustingly sweet. I don't want to cover it with confectionery sugar and frosting and that kind of thing. But you know, you want also to provide an indulgent treat after a meal, and for someone to be able to enjoy a little dessert after some, you know, a regular meal.
Yeah.
Or mainly for gift giving, actually. I mean, we're primarily gifts. So if it's a hostess gift or a corporate gift or, you know, a favor, that kind of thing, they're mainly gifts. So you want them to be indulgent.
Lauren, you were saying, so the cookie cakes are kind of a new product to your line. Most of what you guys do are more like petite individual sized stacks, right? That's why it's Stack Happy Sweets. Can you just kind of talk a little bit about the rest of your product line?
Yeah, absolutely. So it all started a few years back with stacks, and that hence the name of the company, Stack Happy. And they were originally just little bite-sized treats we called baby stacks, and they're you know, like a one bite or two. They come in packages of 4. We still sell those. We have a line of 12 original flavors, and we've since expanded. So now we have the super stacks, which are like jumbo cookies and brownies and snickerdoodles with our original toppings. We've expanded into cakes. And if you check out the website, there's a whole lot of varieties to check out for the holidays coming up, with pretzels and potato chips and popcorn and all kinds of variations of our flavors that combine to make a great variety pack for gift giving.
Great.
That is fantastic. Lauren, thank you so much. So once again, guys, if you want to order from Stack Happy Sweets for Super Bowl, your deadline is tomorrow. That is going to be Saturday. So please get on that. And then, of course, check them out for Valentine's Day. So some Stack Happy Sweets for your sweets, perhaps.
Thank you so much. Actually, let me clarify. So the deadline tomorrow is for shipping. If you're going to come here and pick it up, you have a few more days until Tuesday.
Okay, cool. Lauren, thank you so much again. The cakes are absolutely delicious. Lisa and I have done the quality control check for everybody. You're good to go.
Thanks so much for having me.
Always available to do that.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Lauren. Well, someone that knows a little bit about balancing desserts with healthy living is our next guest, Debbie Peterson. She is the founder and CEO of the Wellness Gala. And this weekend, she has a new TV show debuting on News 12 Plus, not only in the New Jersey area, but all across the New York, New Jersey tri-state area. The show is called Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala. It airs tomorrow at 10 a.m. Debbie, we are so happy to be joined by you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for waking up so early to be
yeah, I've been for a while.
Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure. I'm jealous of you guys eating that cake, though. That looked good.
I was thinking you a slice. There's definitely enough to go around. It's really good. So, Debbie, tell us about the show and what we can expect.
Well, I'm really excited. And like you said, it airs tomorrow. So Basically, we focus on health, beauty, and wellness, some healthy food, some healthy cooking, and really try to give people options about a healthy lifestyle or a lifestyle that they can choose. We have a lot of different, options there. So they can pick what they like and incorporate it in their lives or.
Yeah. So I should preface this by saying that my production company, Long Shot Productions, produces Balance Your Life. I also serve as segment host.
Yes.
You will also see Cara in an episode because she was so nice to spend her time in filming our sizzle reel. And the show came together so quickly, like within a matter of like 2 months, like it was done. So it was fast and furious, but the results paid off, and we're very excited to share that with you. What could we expect from the opening episode tomorrow?
Well, we have legendary Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu founder, Renzo Gracie. So that's very exciting. I know that your husband is really happy about that.
Cara, do you know who that is, Renzo Gracie? It's okay if you don't. Did we lose Cara for a second? We might have lost Cara. It was such a funny story because, Debbie, we were down at I Am Fitness in Middletown, New Jersey, filming, and I saw this name all over the gym. And me not really knowing that world, I mean, if it was a football player, it's one thing, but not knowing the jiu-jitsu world, I'm like, who's Renzo Gracie, mispronouncing his name? And of course, everyone laughed at me. And I'm like, well, if he's like this prolific, can we get him down here? Within 20 minutes, he walked into the gym to do an interview with us.
Which was a super rare occasion. I keep being told by them.
Yeah.
So we're honored. Yes.
And so we really dive into his career, and we talk about how it's never too late to get on your health and fitness kick. Who else can we expect tomorrow?
Oh, well, we have my favorite, Dr. Robert Kendarjian, who really helped my family years ago. And that is how I got into this. So, and I believe we have a healthy recipe with Barb Minnemeyer and Dr. Michael Magwood from Pure Balance, also a chiropractor. And they do a lot of other things there too. So I'm excited to have everyone.
Yeah. And I guess the cool concept about the show, it's not your typical health show. It's really showing you alternatives to complement your mainstream. So for example, COVID-19 and the vaccine, it's all the rage right now. Obviously the vaccine can help boost immunity, but there's also other ways to supplement that to really protect yourself. And that's what the show dives into, that kind of thinking.
To use in conjunction with traditional medicine, a lot of these things, because they can really work some miracles when used that way. And I some people know a lot about them, but some people have no idea, or they have an idea of what these are. And sometimes it kind of gets a woo-woo type of, feeling, but it's really not. They're really based, a lot of them are really based in science, and they really can be quite effective. So we want to do that to everybody so that they can see the options.
Debbie, where can people find out more about you and the show?
Wellnessgala.com.
Okay, great. Well, we'll see you tomorrow morning on News 12 Plus, 10 a.m. You can see the show if you have Optimum Channel 61 and Verizon Fios 530. So we're really excited to share that with you. Debbie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, ladies. Take care.
Take care.
You too. All right, Lisa, we're going to switch gears a little bit here. We're going to head into politics here in New Jersey. And we've been talking about it for the last few weeks that we've been doing the show. The race for governor is shaping up. Republican candidate Jack Ciattarelli is picking up GOP endorsements across the state. Right now, it looks like there may not be a primary. Ciattarelli, a former assemblyman, has emerged as the frontrunner to take on Governor Murphy in the general election. Meantime, the governor's coronavirus response has put him in the spotlight, but will his performance get him reelected? Joining us now to talk New Jersey politics and the race for governor is former Assemblyman John Wisniewski. Hi, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good morning.
Stay warm this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Impossible right now.
Right. Well, stay away from the windows.
Yes.
So, John, you ran for governor in 2017. Based on your experience, how's the 2021 race shaping up?
Well, a re-election race is very different than when there's an open seat, as there was in 17. Governor Murphy's had 4 years to make the case as to why he deserves reelection. He has raised the maximum amount of money right now to qualify for the full amount of public matching funds. And so, he's set into the primary, and it doesn't appear that he'll have any significant opposition in that primary race. And on the Republican side, you had Doug Steinhardt, the Republican GOP chairman, and Jack duking it out. Steinhardt backed out, leaving Jack the most predominant Republican candidate. But there are other people talking about running. But it seems right now that based on Jack's prior run in 2017, and Jack's not a bad fundraiser himself, that he's likely to be the GOP nominee.
Yeah, we actually had Jack on the show last week, and he talked about his chances. So in your opinion, who has the bigger uphill battle here? An incumbent like Murphy, who has to defend his record, considering no Democrat has won re-election since 1977, or a challenger, a Republican in a deep blue state like the Garden State?
Well, it's always a very tough campaign for a Republican to win statewide. Other than the gubernatorial elections, and there are a lot of unique factors that go into that, Republicans on a federal level have not won statewide since Clifford Case left office. And when you talk about, it's certainly historically accurate to say that Democratic governors since Brendan Byrne have not won a second term. There have been a lot of unique factors that allow for that. And I don't know that any of them are here right now. No doubt you make a correct observation that there's a lot of headwinds because of the coronavirus. But I think that when you consider all of the options that are available to this governor or any governor in all 50 states, I think Governor Murphy has done a good job under the circumstances.
Yeah. John, and you had just mentioned coronavirus, and New Jersey is ranked as the #1 state people are moving out of. We've got notoriously high taxes. Again, the ongoing pandemic. What do you think are going to be the top issues for this race?
Well, I think some of those statistics are misleading. There are a lot of people that move out of New Jersey. There are a lot of people that move into New Jersey. Our population grows every year. And so New Jersey is a desirable location. Yes, we have a tax problem that we need to address. We have multiple layers of government that have a lot of duplication. We have 564 municipalities, 21 counties. There's something like 1,300 units of local government in New Jersey. And that, in part, adds to the high tax cost. And I think we need to make a valiant effort. When I ran for governor and as an assemblyman for 22 years, that was something that I worked really hard to try to reduce the size of government's footprint in New Jersey. But let's make no mistake about it. New Jersey's economy is doing good. Again, you have to take all of this stuff in context. Nationally, things are bad. In New Jersey, things are bad. But given the pandemic, we're doing better than you would expect.
Well, that's an optimistic spin to end this segment on. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, like a optimistic note. And
I was going to say an optimistic point of view. Yeah, no, it was good. That's good. That's good to hear. Absolutely, for sure.
And I think it's an important issue right now because there's a lot of mistrust about what gets said on any form of media. But the reality is that we could be in a lot worse situation than we are right now, and I think a lot of that is due to Governor Murphy's leadership.
No, I totally agree. I mean, there's as horrible as this has been, there's been a lot of good to come out of it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing the real news because this is what we do here.
I appreciate it.
New Jersey Morning Show. We want doom and gloom. We want to be happy and those positive vibes. So that's what makes us different here.
The glass is always half full.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us here.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Stay warm.
Yes. Thank you, John. You too. All right. Speaking of warm, Lisa, let's get one more check of weather with meteorologist Mike Favetta, and we are just
with
shivering.
No.
There's none to be had.
No, in fact, just like, my 18-month-old niece will say, she'll tell me, no, it's that cold outside. And with weather, the wind chill just keeps dropping with these wind gusts becoming higher and higher. I want to show you some wind chills right now, -3 over toward Morristown, or actually north of Morristown. They're right up along 287. 4 degrees right now is how it feels over in Sussex. 1 degree toward Hackensack, there by Patterson, and a big fat 0 at Morristown Airport. That is the wind chill to note, and it's going to stay cold there in northern New Jersey. Central New Jersey, also the same. You have 8 degrees is how it feels in Port Monmouth. 1 over in Wall Township down by Allaire State Park and back toward Trenton. 10 degrees is your wind chill. Lastly, we'll go to South Jersey this morning, and again with some really cold air there toward Jackson. You have 1 degree. 3 degrees is how it feels over toward, that's like Manasquan River, there toward Manasquan. And then you head a little further south over toward Burlington, there toward, just east of Camden, and right down toward Mount Holly. 12 degrees is how it feels. A little bit better toward 18. I mean, when you say Atlantic City and it feels better at 18 degrees, yeah, that's how you know how cold it is. Let's go over to the graphics to show you the temperature for today and the 7-day forecast, because there is some snow on the way, and with that snow working in, we'll show you those graphics up to show you the 7-day forecast. We'll likely see a round of snow that takes us into later Sunday night, lasting into Monday morning. So with today setting the stage for the brutally cold air that's already in place, we have our 7-day forecast showing the clouds return as soon as Sunday. I think tomorrow's just kind of cold with less wind, 28 degrees. We'll feel quite chilly on Sunday with the lack of sun, and then snow gets going, Cara and Lisa Marie, as soon as Sunday night. So we'll likely have some snow coming in on the ground early Monday morning, lasting into Tuesday. It'll likely be a big winter wallop here across New Jersey.
You are going to be one busy man. I bet when there's a big snowstorm like this, you don't get much sleep.
No. In fact, working socially distant from home makes it a lot easier. My home office here has been a blessing considering how many much work goes into a forecast. But yeah, with clients calling constantly asking for weather updates, and there's a lot of storms to track, a lot of weather to go around when there's storms. So yes, it gets busy. But how do you plan to enjoy at least the snowfall? I hope you don't have any plans for Monday and Tuesday other than staying home during this very winter weather event.
No, I've been working primarily from home, especially since I'm in the home stretch of the pregnancy and with COVID. So really nothing much is going to be changing. So I'll just watch the pretty flakes fall from my window.
And Cara, I'm sure, is going to cook something amazing.
Yes. That's the plan. Yes, absolutely. I think we're going to, we're trying to expand our meat selection. So we're trying to find a little wild boar, a little chingale.
Wow.
I can get my hands on it.
There's also, I think this is the type of snow due to the fact it'll be a very wet and sticky consistency, and it'll have that, nor'easter type dynamic that I like to say we get these snowflakes that are the size of bocconcini, the little mozzarella, the bocconcini balls. You have these bocconcini falling from the sky because it's going to be snowing so heavily, though. Yeah, expect that.
The Italian-American weather forecast.
That's it. And that's approved, by the way. Some of my friends up in Milan, they like that phrase, that we keep the classics here going.
Yes. Meteorologist Mike Favetta, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you and Weather Prep joining us on the New Jersey Morning Show. And of course, my co-host Lisa Marie, thank you so much. And we are you have somebody you need to shout out this morning.
I do. I have to shout out my mother, Marie. She's actually not watching right now, but she will later, because she's in the process of cleaning up her office at ExxonMobil in Clinton, New Jersey. She's retiring today after 40 years.
Congratulations.
Our generation can't stay in the same place for 40 minutes. Can you imagine going to the same company and every day for 40 years? Unbelievable.
That is wild. And I think it's so funny that both of our mothers are Marie, which again, we're just rolling in stereotypes this morning.
It's unbelievable at this point. But I just want to shout out my mother. Congratulations. So she will transition to full-time executive to full-time grandma. So we'll see how that transition goes for her.
I think she's going to manage it just fine. Just fine. Absolutely. All right, guys, that is it for us this morning. I'm Cara Di Falco.
And I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Thank you so much for joining us. We had an action-packed, fun show, and we will see you next week, Friday at 9 a.m.
Bye.